At home in Amsterdam, identical twins Angelique and Lisbeth start their day with a vigorous exercise routine. The two have agreed to eat exactly the same amount of calories to control their feelings of competition, which originally fueled their anorexia. Their lives are driven by rules of when and how to eat, and what swaps can be made for different foods.
But this is a lot of work for me, this soup, because I have to count every piece of ham which is in it.
Why?
Because it has to be the same. The same, you know, that not everyone has, one has the big ones and the other one has the small croutons.
We eat totally different if we go to a restaurant. Then Lisbeth is going to order one dish and we share that one. But Lisbeth has 2 spoons in her hand and I have to take a spoon, which is a little bit full on. So she has to make it all equal.
And in several restaurants we are not allowed anymore to come because they don't want us to do that. Because everything goes exactly the same. We take a sip of our wine at the same time, but we don't notice that from ourselves, you know. Now we have to change because Angelique always has some left over. We don't trust each other that we have eaten it well enough. So now that's why we have this rule that we always have to change. Come on, Angelique.
Every task to do with food is a battle, even shopping.
Nee, die pakt hem niet. Dat is al niet eerlijk, Lisbeth. Erger niet. Pak hem met kolen erbij.
Nee.
Nee, pak kolen erbij. Dat pakken ze allebei niet. Ik heb hem
Nee.
Briefje wat verdunt.
Briefje de Marquise. Briefje de Marquise. Maar dan moest er zeker nog brood bij pakken bij die truffel. En ik heb geen briefje.
Ja, ik gewoon niet.
Ja, ik gewoon niet.
Nee, dan moeten we zorgen dat ze het
Nee, heb ik niet. Nou, dan pak ik voor allebei niks en hier doen voor ze allebei terug. Daar.
Hier, pak toch een briefje vanaf.
Nee.
Maar ik wil niet morgen niet hebben.
Ja, maar dan moet zeker 3 broodjes bij die truffel.
Ja.
Briefje mocht het zeggen. En dat wordt 10 uur.
Ik heb ook veel te veel voor morgen.
Is het niet? Want ik heb zo een gestolen groentejoghurt, dan denk ik.
Ja, maar voor de goed eten.
En een briefje mocht het zeggen. En ik pak al een briefje. Mag ik het zeggen? Dus dit wordt het. Niet dat ik een duffer het werk.
These women are 35 years old, but during these encounters, they somehow seem much younger. A childhood friend, Diane, now a mother of twins herself, remembers the twins when they were teenagers.
This is us posing on the beach in Spain. You could see this picture maybe as a symbolization for the love-hate relationship that they have. Because I do think they're really good friends, but maybe they can be their worst enemies as well.
What about boys? Did you guys have any adventures with boys at that time?
Yeah, I mean they are very good-looking girls. They were then and they are now, and so it's a shame they don't have any boyfriends. But I don't know why.
The twins' shared history is a struggle between love and intense competitiveness. Angelique was considered the more beautiful and talented of the two. She was a perfectionist, and her anorexia was part of it. She trained as a fashion designer and got a job in Paris with Jean-Paul Gaultier, which she kept for almost 5 years. At home in Amsterdam, Lisbeth struggled and failed to get a job as a photographer. She came to live with Angelique in Paris and got depressed. The two fueled each other's anorexia, and eventually Angelique gave up her job and they went back to Holland.
Angelique really quit her job for me, you know, with Jean-Paul Gaultier, and that was really hard for her because she started to lose so much weight after she has made her decision. So I feel guilty about that, like it's my fault that it started again.
But it's not really your fault, is it?
Well, she says that when we argue sometimes, that I quit my job for you, she says. And that's really painful. So that's why I can't blame her for sometimes being such a bitch, you know, because I know she did that much for me.
On their return to Holland, Lisbeth and Angelique became video artists, called themselves LA Raven, and created installations about their twinness and their anorexia. But then Angelique's weight dropped dangerously to 29 kilograms, and she was sectioned under the Mental Health Act.
You were the one who almost died, yeah?
Yes, yes.
And so that's scary.
It's also scary to know that Angelique is probably the person who will die first.
Why'd you say that?
Because she has much
More health issues.
Yeah, because of my bad behavior in history, so.
Well, I met Angelique Raven 3 years ago, in 2003, when she was admitted to Mentrum Psychiatric Hospital. At this time, she was in a very severe form of starvation. She was suffering from a very, very deep hyponatremia, which means a very low sodium, and which, if not treated, can lead to very severe neurological damage, cardiac arrest, and eventually can lead to death.
Yeah, that was very, very hard because, you know, people don't realize what they did at that moment. You know, they thought that they could force me to eat, but they didn't.
For Angelique, this clash between her eating disorder, which she considered a private matter, and the psychiatric authorities was deeply humiliating. It may well have ended tragically, but for Lisbeth's daily visits, which kept her twin alive.
It was also clear that Angelique was not eating when I was away, but in that hour when I came, I took food with me.
had permission to come 1 hour a day.
And then she had to eat, you know, to eat something.
In that hour, I ate so much with her. She took food with her, and that we ate together.
And we tried to make the people there clear, look, now Angelique eats. If we are together, she can eat.
Whilst at the hospital, the twins vowed to eat together at all times, with Lisbeth, the healthier of the two, in charge. On one level, it's been a success, as Angelique's weight has gone up by 50% since they made the pact.
She's always forcing me to do something that I
But
don't
that's
want.
only for your own good, Angelique.
Yeah, she says so, but...
Because otherwise, if it was up to Angelique, she would eat too less, you know, she would lose weight again.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, sure.
Lisbeth has been fighting off their eating disorder for years. Now, she still hopes life might have other things in store for her.
I'm the person who wants to change more than her, and I have also much more prospects to look for. And
Why did you say that?
Well, because I see other possibilities what we can do differently, and Angelique doesn't want that. Her perfect life is a life together with me only.
Having given up her glittering career in Paris for her twin sister, Angelique's life is simple these days. When she's not obsessing about food, she sketches ideas for projects. Only images of their relationship and of Lisbeth, her mirror and the love of her life.
I sometimes, I rather know her body more as mine, because I look to her all the time. She's definitely looking much nicer than myself. The distance between your bodies and how long your arms are, how long your legs are, how long your body is, she has a good balance, and my balance is disturbed.
Angelique had a spinal fracture 3 years ago due to anorexia. Her quest for perfection lost forever. She lost 9 centimetres in height and is now shorter than Lisbeth. In the past, it was her who was the taller twin. The twins' relationship has changed over the years. Angelique used to be the more powerful, but now it is Lisbeth, the physically stronger one, who has the upper hand. They are both still virgins, but Lisbeth hopes this might change soon.
I dated a guy on the internet. We write to each other for half a year, and he is the ideal man. Really, I'm in love with him. And last week was our first meeting. We would go for lunch together. It was really a big step, it was really amazing, but I really didn't care, that Angelique I didn't want Angelique to come with me, and I really wanted to go alone and have lunch with him alone. I don't know, maybe it's a fantasy, it's possible. But also the thing that I'm fantasizing about it, having a relationship with him, is also something, which gives you strength to make changes.
Weeks go by, summer passes, and the autumn chill begins to set in, as Lisbeth's hopes for love are being dashed.
I got a phone call from his work, and he got a brain bleeding, and now he can't contact me right now, so I don't know where he is. That's why I was so depressed.
When you say brain bleeding, you mean like a stroke?
Yeah, at 28 years old. I don't have his telephone number. I gave mine, but he didn't give his yet. So if he's better and he calls me again, we will pick it up. He can only email it from his work. So it's really strange. There are some strange things with it. And
Lisbeth's boyfriend's mysterious illness has created additional stress and anxiety in the twins' relationship.
Moet je ophouden hoor.
Ja, maar dan pak toch ook de rest, hoe kunt je wel één aanpakken?
Nee, ik mag zeggen.
Goed ook. Je kunt niet het ganse ding op zomaar maken en dan nog zo'n doodpakken. Ja, dat kun je zo niet zeggen, Lisbeth.
Ik kan wel van alles zeggen, als het niet zo is, dan kun je maar een pakken, ik kan zo'n wienerling drinken.
Ja. Dit knoeit ze naar mij toe.
Nee, dat gaat van dik.
Nee. En dit gaat geknoeid.
Het is dik op de camera.
Ja, maar dit heb ze geknoeid.
Ja, maar dit...
Nee, hoe is ding dingen?
Ja, het is op de grond gevallen, maar dit knoeit ook en ik knoei ook.
Nee, dit valt van dingen af naar door.
Ik kan ze terugzien.
Nee, dit kunnen we op promotie doen. Oké, dan kunnen we maar eerst gisteren op de tafel zien.
Kun je dat even terug laten zien dat het deze van Angelique haar lepel afvalt en ze zegt dat het van mijn lepel afvalt.
feel.
Nou, dit knoeit hij naar me toe.
They still divide one crisp equally and calculate how much Angelique can drink to make up the calories for Lisbeth's ice cream.
It has to be totally empty.
It has to be totally empty, otherwise the calories which are on the package are not right. It's stupid, so...
The battle for control is intense. As Lisbeth is still waiting for her boyfriend to get in touch, even the smallest incident seems to be pushing the twins' relationship to breaking point.